In the darkest corners of the human psyche lie manipulation tactics so twisted they'll make your skin crawl. Venture with me into this sinister realm and discover 5 methods so up they might just change how you see the world around you. But a word of caution: once you know, there's no turning back. Ready? Ever had someone you know confess to something they clearly didn't do? Brace yourself as we uncover the unsettling truth behind the false confession. Picture this: Sarah, a hardworking employee, suddenly faces accusations at work for deleting crucial files. She's cornered in a meeting room with higher-ups throwing jargon and veiled threats. Hours drag on, exhausted and scared of losing her job. And with no way out, she finally breaks, admitting to the act. But here's the kicker: she's innocent. The foundation of this tactic lies in the combined forces of stress, compliance, and cognitive dissonance. But why is this so effective? Under intense pressure, our brain's fight or flight mechanism kicks in. If fighting seems too daunting, the brain chooses flight, seeking an immediate escape, even if it means self-sacrifice. In such scenarios, the brain often sacrifices truth in a desperate bid for relief. It's not about the reality of the situation, but the perceived immediate danger the person feels. Skilled manipulators engineer high-stress scenarios intentionally. They know that stress impairs judgment and can push someone to admit things falsely. This isn't just about extracting a confession, it's about power dynamics. The manipulator understands the weight of the emotional toll and uses it as leverage, forcing their victim into submission. Do you hear of kidnapping victims falling in love with their captors or abuse victims defending their tormentors? This is a sinister manipulation tactic called trauma bonding. Imagine Liam, a lonely guy, meets Chloe at a local club. They quickly bond over shared traumas from their pasts. Over time, however, Chloe starts to bring up those terrible times he had just shared, deliberately creating conflicts and painful moments only to then comfort Liam afterward, strengthening the initial bond they shared. This emotional roller coaster filled with highs of intimacy and lows of intense pain keeps Liam tethered, unable to break free. Trauma bonding emerges from shared experiences of pain. Bonds form rapidly when 2 individuals undergo intense emotions together, even if those emotions are negative. This works so well because the emotional highs, moments of comfort and understanding, are so intensely rewarding that they overshadow the negative confrontations. This skewed reward system means victims often endure abuse for the sporadic moments of perceived love. By deliberately inducing trauma and then providing solace, manipulators ensure that the victim sees them as both the source of pain and the only relief, leading to an unhealthy dependency. Imagine your most cherished memories being used as a weapon against you. Let's say Sarah remembers a perfect day at the beach with her family during her childhood. That memory is her sanctuary. Her partner, Greg, aware of this, begins subtly twisting details every time she recounts it. "Wasn't it the same day your dog ran away?" he'd hint. Over time, Sarah starts doubting her recollection. A once-cherished memory now carries a taint of sadness. This tactic targets the malleability of human memory. Each time we recall a memory, it's susceptible to alteration, and when stored again, it might incorporate these changes. By consistently introducing negative or altered details into someone's memories, a manipulator can change how the person feels about those memories over time. The victim may distrust their own recollections, making them more reliant on the manipulator's version of events. Manipulators can use this to rewrite the victim's past, making them easier to control in the present. With every distorted memory, the victim becomes more susceptible to the manipulator's influence, leading them further from their true self. Freedom is everyone's birthright. But what if that very freedom becomes your cage? Jake was once a free spirit traveling the world. Then he met Clara, who constantly emphasized the dangers of the world. "Aren't you afraid of being mugged? What about deadly diseases?" Over time, Jake's perspective shifted. Instead of seeing the world as a place of wonder, he began to see it as a minefield of potential disasters. Rooted in existential psychology, this tactic plays on humans' inherent anxiety about freedom and the responsibility it entails. While freedom is empowering, it also comes with the weight of choices and their consequences. By amplifying the potential negative outcomes of exercising one's freedom, a manipulator can make the victim too paralyzed by fear to act. By instilling a fear of the outside world and its potential harms, the manipulator becomes the victim's anchor, their perceived protector. This tactic makes the victim willingly confine themselves, seeking safety over freedom, becoming ever more dependent on the manipulator. If you ever see any of these signs in relation to you, consider it a massive red flag.